5 years ago, I left my life and my family in Kenya, everything I knew and loved, to return to my birthplace of America. I was moving in with my aunt and uncle who lived in Darrington, Washington, which was a small Cascade town in the middle of nowhere, 40 minutes from its neighboring cities. I remember sitting next to my aunt and uncle. They were to my right. And I remember looking out the window. I was looking at the ice caps, how magnificent they were. I remember realizing something. I remember realizing just how nervous I was. I was so nervous. I was scared. I was scared of a place so distant and different from Kenya. And I remember looking back at how far I'd come and just realizing how much potential I still had. And I couldn't believe I was finally doing what I'd always wanted to do. I was finally fulfilling my childhood dream. I was coming back home, as my dad would always say. Little did I know that the next 5 years of my life would exponentially change who I was becoming. So after 7 months living in the US with my aunt and uncle, they decided to move back to Kenya. And it wasn't a one-time sit-down conversation over dinner. It was a progression of stress and anxiety that built up to this moment. I remember just, realizing that I had two options. One, that I wasn't going back to Kenya, and two, that I had to find a new home. After a bit of scrambling, my friend Gabe and his family came to my rescue and decided to take me in. And the rest is history. 4 years later, there I was, graduating from Darrington High School with my best friend and brother Gabe, and our family, the Johnsons. The bonds I formed in that community and the love they showed me was boundless and unconditional. And I experienced more than I ever thought I would, both good and bad. My UW journey started with Business Bridge last summer. I knew my goal was to get into Foster, and early fall start seemed like the perfect opportunity. The time I spent at Business Bridge was inspiring, arduous, and eye-opening, and though I haven't yet applied to Foster, B Squared really affirmed my decision to pursue business. Throughout my life, I've learned to love the moments that define who I am, where I've been, and what I've done. After living in the United States, Canada, and Kenya, and moving between a multitude of states and communities, one thing has always been true, that I'm truly blessed. I have learned the power of gratitude, appreciation for water, sanitation, electricity, and most importantly, to never take anything for granted. Life is just a snapshot, and it can disappear just like that. Everything I do is my responsibility. I take accountability for all my actions and all my aspirations. However, one thing I must always remember is that my story doesn't start with me. It starts with my parents. Long before my journey began, my parents were already dreaming of what it could be. They worked hard, and so must I, and I must make my own American dream. My name is Alfred Mugho, and I am fearlessly Foster.